Hi, everyone. This is Leslie Swan with the Swan Team, and welcome to an all new episode of Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love. This is actually going to be the last Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love episode of 2018. So we are going to end the year with a bang and end with a housing update in Orange County for you. Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for joining. As we wait for others to join, I always like to remind you that I don't always see when people join in. So if you can comment just to say hi or to let me know what you're doing today or maybe what you have planned for the rest of the year and the holiday season, I'd love to know. Of course, thumbs and hearts and wows are always a wonderful thing to receive too, to let me know that you're out there. So it is a beautiful day here in Mission Viejo. It is again December 19th, Wednesday, and this is an all new episode of Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love, where our main topic today is going to be the Orange County Housing Report, and to give you an update of what's going on in the housing market and what we can anticipate going into 2019. Before we do that, I do want to go over just a few things that we have going on and that I'd like to keep you up to date on. First of all, next Monday, Christmas Eve, we are going to be hosting a 12 Days of Christmas workout at Aurora Park here in Mission Viejo at 8 a.m. so that you can have fun, work out, burn some calories before you hopefully have lots of treats, lots of great food, perhaps some great drinks, and enjoy time with family for Christmas Eve and Christmas. But Christy and I, especially, we love to work out and thought it would be fun to organize a 12 Days of Christmas workout. So please come and join us at Aurora Park at 8 a.m. next Monday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, at Aurora Park in Mission Viejo. The workout will start at 8 a.m. promptly, so please be sure to get there a few minutes early so you can check in with us and get ready to do the Oh So Fun workout. So we're super excited and would love to see you come out and join us. We'll have some refreshments afterwards too. But we want you to get in, get your workout, have fun, come say hi, join us, and then get on with the rest of your day feeling great and knowing that you have done something good for your body. So again, come and join us, 8 a.m., Aurora Park, for our 12 Days of Christmas workout with the Swan Team, and have lots of fun. So hi, Colleen. Thanks so much for joining today. Also want to encourage you to connect with us. There are many different ways that you can connect with the Swan Team. Of course, here on Facebook, we do have our Facebook Live videos, our Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love episodes that air every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Of course, if you can't watch live, they always do backup and archive in our videos library, which can be found on the Swan Team's Facebook page. If you simply go to our Facebook page and then look left, you'll see an option, Home, Events, About, and events, like I said, and there's a subscription option. So you click on events, and that's how you can find out about events that we have going on, and then videos, which is where you can see past videos where we've discussed a number of things like tips and tricks for sellers trying to get their house ready to put on the market, buyers, what to look for and how to prepare to get yourself ready for putting your house or for looking for a house to buy. So we try to provide as many great resources as we can. So you can definitely look to the left column of the menu and see all the different options of things that we offer. We do also offer the monthly housing report that you can get sent to you by subscription. All you have to do is click on that, and you will start getting copies of the full and robust housing report for Orange County. Today, I'll be going over more of a kind of summary of the report, but if you want to get more specific data on specific cities or just know more facts and figures than anyone could possibly ever want to know, then just feel free to subscribe to that and you will get that. Also, we have our blog posts. And the when you look to our blog, you can see, for example, our Orange County housing update is on our blog, and you can go to www.theswanteamoc.com to get a full to get to our website. And then if you look up to the right, you will see the option for blog. If you click on that, then you will see all of the blog posts that we have, and our most recent one is the most recent update in the Orange County housing market. But you can subscribe to that so that every time the Swan Team creates a new blog post, you will get it right to your inbox. We then also have our monthly newsletter, which comes to you monthly, and that is just a compilation of the Facebook Live information that we share, as well as any new information about the housing market, any events that are going on, as well as any properties or information that we want to share with you as well. So definitely subscribe to that. And then lastly, if you are specifically looking for potentially tips on how to buy or sell your home, we do have where you can subscribe to a buyer guidebook or a seller guidebook, depending on which you are. If you're both, because maybe you're in a current home that you want to sell but need to sell it in order to buy a new one, then you can get both of those. And they're really great tips and ways to prepare yourself for the fun and exciting plan ahead of buying or selling a home. And I'm looking at comments right now, and Colleen asked, where is Aurora Park? Aurora Park is actually just south of the Alicia and Marguerite intersection, just south of Alicia. If you're still on Marguerite, and it's basically you go past, if you were on Marguerite and you go past Alicia, it is your first right that you would make, and the park is right there on your left. So that is Aurora Park, and that's where we'll be meeting. Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for joining. Again, feel free to share with us what you're doing for the holidays, if anything, what you're looking forward to for the holidays, and perhaps even a goal or what you're looking forward to for 2019. Would love to hear what your goals are. Don't have to be real estate related, but certainly any fun things that you are looking forward to in 2019 is always something exciting to look forward to and to hear about. As I mentioned, we are going to be going over the Orange County housing report and update today. This will be the last housing update of 2018 that I will be coming to you live with. As I mentioned, this will also be the last Facebook Live Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love episode that I will be doing. I may do some impromptu Facebook Lives, and Christy might too, but this will be the last episode of Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love for 2018, because I feel like I want a break from, and I want to enjoy my family and friends for the holidays. So, and I want everyone else to too. I don't want you watching me on Facebook. So, again, but stay tuned for those to start up again the first week of January on that first Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. As I mentioned before, that is our new time. So definitely feel free to join us when we start up again in January. Last but not least, I always like to share our motto, love where you live, give where you love, and the name of these episodes, and where that came about. It all came from the fact of volunteering at my kids' elementary school. Big shout out to Castile Elementary, and learning from the PTA and just the school goings on, how much that, the school district provides a lot, don't get me wrong, but many of the things that at least I felt like I was used to when I was a kid is no longer made available and has to be supplemented by the PTA. So as a result, way back when, I started the plan of donating $500 for every property I help you buy or sell to the school of your choice, which has since actually increased to I will donate, we will donate $1,000 to the school of your choice for every property we help you buy or sell. So we, again, are looking to not only make sure that you love where you live, but we want to give back to where you love. So again, that is our motto that we live by, and want to make sure that everyone is happy where they're living and making it a better community. And I apologize, the sun is moving on me, so my eyes, I feel like I am squinting a little bit more than I would like to. So I'm going to turn just a smidge so that I'm not squinting at you. And I am about to get into the housing update. If at any time you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the comments section. Of course, feel free to share this. And under the description, there should be an option for sharing this Facebook Live video if there's anyone that you know would be interested in hearing more about the status of the Orange County housing market. Definitely feel free to share it. And again, comments, questions, definitely keep them coming, because I love to know what you're thinking and hopefully make this as dynamic as possible of a Facebook Live. So having said all that, we are going to get right into the Orange County housing report and start with our active listings, or our inventory and demand. And in the past 2 weeks, active inventory has actually dropped by 11%, and that is pretty standard this time of year because most of us are more concerned with shopping and getting our houses cleaned or decorated, all that kind of stuff for the holidays and getting ready for the new year. So we do typically see a drop in active inventory. So that in fact is what we're seeing. And we also saw a drop in demand by 15% in the past 2 weeks. So pretty standard for this time of year. And, this marks then that we are actually and officially in the holiday market, which is the slowest time of year in Orange County, which is considered Thanksgiving through the new year. And so we see the fewest active listings, as well as we see definitely demand drop. So, and I apologize, I'm going to look down every now and again because I have lots of facts and figures that I want to make sure that I get correct for you. So from an interesting part too with this time of year, just to kind of give you perspective of what happens during the holiday market, is that from since Thanksgiving, 150 sellers have actually placed their property into hold do not show status. So, a lot of people, they just don't want to have to bother with having their house on the market during the holidays, which is totally understandable. And they possibly want to decorate and don't want to have to worry about anyone coming and looking at their house and messing things up or touching presents or anything like that. So, so again, 150 sellers placed their properties into hold do not show status since Thanksgiving. And when we look at demand and active listings in general, I had mentioned, and I have mentioned in past updates, that this year, how things have really been different is that we really had a slow summer market. Normally, the market is still really active and demand is really high through August. But unfortunately, demand started dropping and active listings continued to increase all the way through October, which pushed it basically 2 months past what it normally is. And then it actually even people continued to put their house on the market from October through November. So it peaked and then kind of stayed there for a month. So before it eventually started, inventory started dropping. And the last 2 weeks of November, inventory finally declined by 6%. So we finally saw that, okay, houses were actually selling, and we just weren't seeing as many houses added to the active inventory. So that is at least good moving into, especially starting 2019, because we're going to be starting 2019 with more inventory than we've ever had, or at least actually since 2011. So right now, roughly we're looking at active inventory being at about 6,820, which, like I mentioned, is the highest active inventory since 2011, which, as most of us know, was the bottom of the market. It's pretty much after 2011 when we finally started seeing an upswing and housing values starting to go back up. And what was actually kind of great is when people were putting their house on the market in 2011, they're all of a sudden were buyers again, and there were bidding wars. So we are at the same level of inventory as 2011. And since there isn't much time for the active listings that are still available to drop, inventory is going to start in 2019, and it's going to be at the highest it's been since 2012. So again, inventory is going to be high going into 2019, which again is an indication that sellers aren't going to have as much control in the transaction situation as they have in the past 7 to 8 years, or 6 to 7 years, really. So if you're thinking of selling, that's something just to keep in mind, that the days of multiple offers and prices just increasing, unless priced really well and priced to sell, that's not the situation and the market that we're in right now. So again, just giving you a little dose of reality and wanting to make sure that you're aware of what is coming down the pike, and what we can expect to experience. And as far as our current active inventory in perspective to last year, it is 58% higher than last year's mark at the start of December, which was 4,323 homes. So again, inventory is 58% higher, which means there is more competition for sellers. So again, this time last year, let's see if I turn this way. Sorry, I'm gonna rotate for a second because again, that lovely sun is following me every which way. Let's see, maybe that's a little better. Sorry, I may be a little dark, but at least I'm not squinting at you. So again, there's more competition for sellers, meaning that buyers have more options. And if buyers have more options, then they have more leverage in a negotiation. So buyers know that, sellers know that. And that's why it would be crucial to make sure that you work with a real estate professional like us at the Swan Team to understand the situation in the market, to know what competition or other comparable properties are on the market, so that when it comes into the negotiation, you can definitely utilize that to your advantage. And again, from a buyer's perspective, you just have more options and more choice. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But for the most part, I think most buyers would agree that it's nice to have more choices and not have so many people bidding against you. Having said all that, if a house is priced right and it's in great shape and great condition, there still are buyers out there, and there are going to be homes that have bidding wars. So, sellers, if you want to have bidding wars, you need to price your home right, get it ready to sell, and hire someone like me or Christy or someone else from the Swan Team that is going to work hard to market your property correctly and get it sold quickly. Now, so that was just talking about active inventory. In general, we will see that demand will continue to drop until after the new year. And that is, of course, the new number. Demand is the number of new pending sales, going from active under contract into pending. And demand has been dropping since August. So, again, that's always a challenge when you have a higher active inventory. The last 2 weeks of November, we saw a decline in demand, and it accelerated and dropped the most it has this entire year, which was 7%, or in other words, 122 homes. And that is the lowest level for a start of December since 2007. Again, what some would say pretty much was the start of the kind of housing market plunge. Now, again, all of these numbers and the way some of these things are looking similar, there is no indication that we are going to have anything like we had back in 2007 and 2008, because we don't have people in the crazy loans and situations and predicaments that they were in back in 2007 and 2008. So while we are seeing demand percentages and active inventory percentages similar to those times of year, again, we don't have the catastrophic variables like the mortgage loans, the interest-only loans, the crazy loan situations that we had back in 2007, 2008. So that, I guess what I want to make sure is to not create any panic, because while we are seeing a decline in demand and an increase in inventory, again, that just means it is shifting more towards a slight buyer's market than what we've been used to for the past 6 years plus, which is a seller's market. So again, it's merely just an adjustment that sellers and buyers need to make. More so, obviously, sellers. Buyers can somewhat rejoice, but if you're a buyer that has to sell anyways, then you have to be realistic and in both the sale and buy side of the situation. So when as I mentioned, let's see, I apologize, I just want to make sure I look at my notes. So I said that the demand declined by 7%, which was the lowest level for a start of December since 2007. And last year, demand was 26% higher at this time than it is now. So again, there were more active buyers and active purchases in escrow than there are now. So again, merely information. So now we have to look at expected market time. The days of, a house being on the market for 2 weeks, a week, maybe a month. Unfortunately, that is just not the case anymore. The expected market time is growing at a rapid pace, or it has been since August. So we have to prepare for that. And again, as sellers, know that, okay, this isn't something that's going to happen perhaps as quickly as I would like it to. And that means that you really have to come up with a great strategy for preparing your house so that it looks best, as well as pricing it correctly, because price is king in this situation where we are at, which is a buyer's market. Hi, Tom. Thanks so much for joining today. As I have mentioned to everyone, we are discussing the Orange County housing update, and we are getting into now expected market time. So in all of Orange County, expected market time in the past couple weeks has increased from 122 days to 124, which again is just pushing us more and more into a slight buyer's market. Now, keep in mind, it varies by city. Again, that's all of Orange County. There are certain cities that are still in a seller's market, like Westminster, for example. Their days on market is still only about 60, 62. So there are still pockets and still different cities that are in sellers markets, but the vast majority and the overall look at Orange County is it's a slight buyer's market. And again, to keep in perspective from last year we were at 62 days on market, being the average and the expected market time for a property in Orange County. So we are at basically double that now. And obviously 62 days hovering just over a hot market for sellers. We're now at a slight buyer's market. So just perspective to keep things in mind. So seller expectations. The market, as I mentioned, is lining up in favor of buyers for the first time since 2011. So it's going to take you longer to sell your house. Know that, understand that. Go in with eyes wide open and with clear expectations. I just realized my garbage can was in the back. Sorry. Gotta love it. And know that price is king. Pricing strategies can vary because at the end of the day, your home is going to sell for the amount that someone thinks it's worth. You could think it's worth $1 million, but at the time, someone could only think it is worth $750,000. Now, obviously, we don't typically see something that drastic, but again, it is important to understand that on any given day, your house is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. And as I mentioned, there are different pricing strategies. And, I think, again, looking at most comparable homes in your community, 4 months ago, people would have taken the most comparable house and probably increased the price a little bit depending on upgrades, quality of the house, stuff like that. Now you have to really look at it and watch to see, okay, that house had a pool. My house doesn't have a pool. So I'm going to probably have to deduct at least 40 or 50 grand off of the value of my home when I go to list, because someone's not even going to come and look at it if it's overpriced. So again, just things to keep in mind and to expect if you're thinking of selling in 2019, especially. And buyers, the one expectation too, as I've mentioned, you have a bit more leverage in the transaction and the negotiation now, but keep in mind that it is a slight buyer's market, and it doesn't mean that prices are actually plunging. It just means that prices are going to kind of plateau and stay flat. They're not increasing, which again is a good place for you to be. Of course, it is also still always a balance of interest rates, because as we've noticed and we've seen over this year, interest rates have gone up. We anticipate they're going to go up probably at least another quarter, if not 0.5%, in 2019. So again, looking at, if you were looking at the same house today as you are, and let's say it's still on the market in June of next year, and it sells for the same amount, you could be paying more for it. You could end up overall paying more for it because your interest rate is higher in June of 2019. So sometimes that idea of I'm going to wait it out and see what happens doesn't always work in your favor. And we all know too, when it comes to interest compounding over 30 years, you definitely can end up paying more than, let's say, for example, you were waiting and wanted to see if a house would come down or what you could get, and it ended up ultimately costing maybe $10,000. You got $10,000 off the listing price as your purchase price, but then ended up having to pay an extra 0.5%. Unfortunately, in the length and the life of the loan, you're going to end up paying more than $10,000 in interest. So just always something to keep in mind and in perspective. And buyers, it's a great time to buy because the inventory is high. There are a lot of great houses out there. I've shown several clients houses just this week that are actually great homes, great opportunities for people to buy, and they're waiting. So if you're thinking of buying, or whether it's an investment property or you're thinking of moving up in the world or downsizing, definitely contact us because we'd love to help. Again, as I've mentioned, something that's very important to note is that it's a slight buyer's market. It is not by any means a major buyer's market, if there's such a term. And it doesn't indicate appreciation. A slight buyer's market or a slight seller's market doesn't indicate appreciation or depreciation in the home. It just actually determines who calls the shots in the transaction, or who has more leverage and negotiating power when it comes to negotiating the purchase price and the terms of the purchase. So again, slight buyer's market isn't a scary place to be. It doesn't mean homes are going to lose value. It just means that a buyer now coming into a transaction has more power than they did 6 months ago. And again, as I mentioned, local information is key because overall, the expected market time, or the days on market, is 124 here in Orange County. But as I mentioned, in a place like Westminster, it's still considered a hot market because it's averaging between 60 and 62 days. So, and I know here in Mission Viejo, it's averaging about 92 days. So it's definitely different depending on what area that in what city, and the demand and the expected market time can not only vary by city, but it could actually vary by neighborhood. We all know that there are those certain neighborhoods where we live that homes rarely go on the market. And when they do, people jump at the chance to buy them. So again, it can vary by pocket. And so that's why it's important to contact someone like us if you live here in South Orange County or in Orange County in general, so that we can walk you through understanding not only what's going on in the city that you're interested in or the city that you live in, but specifically the community and the neighborhood, and sometimes even the specific tract of homes and what's happening in those tract of homes for price information and expected days on market. So again, that's when you need to call in the professionals and call us to help you out in the situation. And last but not least, I guess, overall summary, the housing market is seeing a cold front, which I suppose is apropos since we are in winter right now. Of course, we don't experience a huge winter here in Southern California, but we have certainly hit a cold front, and it's just something to be prepared for. And because things are changing and they are different than they were earlier this year, the best advice I can give you is to rely on a professional for advice, whether you're buying or selling. And again, if you're selling here in Southern California, please feel free to contact us at the Swan Team. You can reach us at 949-444-1601, or you can email us at info@theswanteamoc.com. Of course, you can direct message us as well here on Facebook, and we will get back to you very quickly. We have a really high response time, or very quick response time, because we want to help you and your family succeed in their real estate goals. To add also, if you don't live here in Southern California, but you want a recommendation for a real estate professional in another area, let's say Northern California or Arizona, again, you can contact us because we know people in those areas, and we can help you find and determine who are great realtors in those areas. That's resources and information that we have that not everyone else does. So again, you can contact us and let us be a resource for you. Let us help you, again, achieve the real estate goals that you have. So having said all of that, that again is a kind of a wrap up and update of the Orange County housing market, our last one of 2018. Be on the lookout in 2019 for our first Facebook Live video, which will be the first Wednesday of January, which I believe is actually going to be the 2nd. So January 2nd at noon Pacific Standard Time, catch me and Christy for an all new episode of Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love. And of course, if you can, please come down to Aurora Park next Monday, Christmas Eve, December 24th at 8 a.m. Again to Aurora Park for our 12 days of Christmas workout. It's going to be lots of fun, and feel free to dress festively, feel festive, and get ready to just have some fun exercising, burning some calories, and getting ready for a fun-filled Christmas Eve evening and Christmas Day. So again, thank you for all of your referrals. And until next time, when I see you on January 2nd, for an all new episode of Love Where You Live, Give Where You Love at noon Pacific Standard Time. Again, so I guess I should be wishing you a happy new year too. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy family, enjoy friends. And again, contact us with any and all questions that you may have regarding your real estate goals and needs, because that's what we're here for. So again, this is Leslie signing off, reminding you to love where you live, give where you love. Take care. Bye.